everyone. Welcome back to our Terra Sentia series. I'm super excited to continue the story. Welcome to the next episode. I don't actually know which episode it is. We're breaking it up in weird ways.
Don't break up with me, Phil.
No, I mean, don't tempt me, Frodo.
That's Frodo, please. Samwise.
I thought you said Frolic.
You have way too long of ears to be Frodo.
Yeah. Are you wearing an Ent shirt?
It's actually a Giving Tree and an Ent shirt. It's the Giving Tree beard. Since you asked about it, I'm going to show our viewers. Whoa. So as you can see, it is the Giving Tree passing Ent water off to a hobbit, friends.
Awesome.
It's kind of gross.
It's awesome.
Okay, it's awesome. That's what I meant. Awesome.
This is going to be the tallest of the hobbits now, just so you know. That's pretty a big deal.
Yeah. It's like as big as my beard. Bigger, maybe.
Thank you. I love that you noticed this is tree beard.
We have a lot to get into, and I'm really excited about it. I'm also totally not organized, so that's a thing.
Take time.
Before we get into things, I just want to give a shout out to our friends over at Infinity Break Gaming, and I want to talk about one of their games that I actually I'm like knee deep, probably 6-7 episodes in. It's called Speak of the Devil. No good of themselves shall a listener hear. Speak of the devil shall appear. A new from Infinity Break is Speak of the Devil, a live stream Dungeons & Dragons playthrough with a story from the malicious mind of Johnny Ronaldo. Our heroes aren't from around here. In fact, they're not even from this dimension. Dareth Fenyor, Vermal, Dr. Eden Radford, and Tordek Frostbeard. And what's Tordek's boar animal companion? Pippin. Sorry, I wanted to mention Pippin because they didn't
Speaking
they just didn't.
of Pippin.
There you go.
Best hobbit.
They're transported from their home realities and forced into being the errand runners for a council of devils. Revolutions, conspiracy, secret contracts, free will, and a very happy-go-lucky boar. Oh, they do mention him. Never mind. I should have just kept reading. Are all in Speak of the Devil, starring Andrew Eagle, Tara Bozart, whom is a friend of both Will and mine, Benjamin Hamlin, and Christina Gray, and of course your Dungeon Master, Johnny Ronaldo. Speak of the Devil airs every other Sunday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Twitch TV/Infinity Break Gaming, and rebroadcasts on Wednesday on YouTube and as a podcast on InfinityBreak.net or wherever you can find your podcasts. They're really fun guys. I really like Ben. He's got a great work ethic. I really like that. And I loved and will still love in the future hanging out with Tara at Oregon Country Fair. I hope they can make it to this year. You know.
As do I.
Yeah. All right. Where do we want to pick up?
I don't know.
Where we left off.
Forest seems good.
Yeah.
Need to mention the continuity between your wardrobes, which happens pretty frequently.
We do dress very similar very often.
Yeah, but like this is particular, like, you know, John T. T-shirt covered by the like dress up button up. Like,
You know, I almost wore a dragon hat today.
really?
You always mess it up by like one thing.
I do have a dragon hat. I didn't almost wear it. That would just been too
You
funny.
did bring your staff though.
I did. We both have stabs.
Yeah.
I feel very safe.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We're armed to.
Don't
Mine used to
headbutt
be a
my
wand.
staff.
Yeah.
Used to be a wand.
I will
Plus, I got
try
this
my
baby.
best not to.
Oh, God.
What's it say on top of it?
I think it's
Have you
just
ever
the
seen,
signature.
Twin Peaks?
Just got the feel.
The weaponsmith.
Spoiler. God.
It's like episode 1.
So, anything before we begin? Anything going on in anybody's life that they want to share right now? I know one thing that I would really like you to share, Will, and that is your new 3D printer creation.
I printed a thing. There's no way I can hold this and a burrito at the same time.
Put your
There's the
burrito
backside
down.
of it. You can see the backside of it. There we go.
Very intimate. Thank you.
Dice Tears. Thank you to Thingiverse for giving me free 3D templates for things.
Ooh.
Oh wow! I didn't even see there was a second one.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
All of
pretty
the
cool.
things, and I do agree. It's like when you're staring at a pile of dice, they all blend in together, and then suddenly it's like when they're presented in a very orderly fashion. It's like, oh, take that.
And then I have a shelf of 20, so I can angrily toss one away when I'm like, you failed me for the last time. And then I go get it later because I'm too cheap.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
I'm sorry, baby. I was angry.
Yeah, shh.
I just come on, don't please.
Not again.
Just find
So
that.
I probably have an abuse cycle with my dice.
There you go.
I'm not sure who's the abuser though.
Don't start gaslighting your dice. That's all I'm asking.
It probably doesn't bode well
Huh?
for rolls.
It's fine. It's fine.
I built a sleeping platform in the back of my truck last weekend with power tools.
Yeah.
Aside
Butch.
from using it
Yeah.
to sleep on, for what purpose will this be used?
How much do you need?
Well, what I'm
Are you
asking,
asking for
What do you mean?
extracurriculars,
what I'm
though?
asking is like,
Sexy times.
are you planning on going on like any specific
yes.
trips, and where are you gonna go?
I'm hiatusing life. I'm leaving.
On a
3
jet
months.
plane.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm taking off. The great American road trip.
I didn't actually know that you were driving.
Yeah.
Interesting. Where is it gonna forget?
Well, my first destination is in Montgomery, New York, which is in the Hudson Valley.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to be there for an indeterminate amount of time, but I've committed to a month. And then I'm going to be heading back west to Durango, Colorado, where hopefully Will join me for some of that drive. And then, slash whatever. And then,
Extracurriculars.
yeah.
No big deal.
And then my friend is building essentially a tiny home on land in Durango, Colorado.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm
Nice.
excited.
That's cool. I love it.
Dirt bagging it.
They're bagging it.
Insurance question mark?
I need to get you a protection machete before you leave.
Okay.
Yeah.
I need some weapons.
Yeah.
Are you planning on quitting New Seasons?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Donezo.
did you already give you
Should that-
notice?
Should that be
No, I
aired?
didn't give. That's fine. I mean, it's not like a secret. I haven't given notice because anything could happen in the next few months, and I reserve the right to not leave job insecurity
Right.
at home. But the plan is to have like June at this juncture to have June be like the last month
Yeah.
that I'm there, and then I could always come back
Oh, yeah.
because I'm not going to burn any bridges.
No.
Yeah.
And I might come back actually like appreciating my life there a little bit more.
Yeah.
Little
Little stability.
perspective, little distance.
I was just talking about that with a friend.
Yeah.
Just
Sometimes you just need a break.
yeah, a break, and it gives you a different perspective. Yeah. I've had a big one of those recently, and it's been very freeing. So it's great. I'm gonna roll on through here with the recap. So after being picked up in the Jawbone Flats by a July conglomerate airship, our heroes find themselves escaping the wreckage of said airship after crash landing in the Kashar Forest. While escaping with familiar faces like Lucy July and Lumia July, aka Sparky, you all also met a ship human wizard named Bush. No, Bush and Kelly. You met
We
two
met
wizards.
Bush and Kelly.
Who did I sacrifice?
Bush died.
Bush died.
Bush died, yeah.
Bush got eaten by the bush.
Bush got bushed hard, man.
You got bushed hard. And a desperate a mother named Liddy, the half-orc bard named Burgess, and the someone that you really haven't gotten too close with yet, a human woman that you saved from the wreckage named Kessler. So, you all escaped the wreckage, kind of by the skin of your teeth. There was a local some kind of a plant or something like that that the orcs call the quarter kraken.
Yeah. That thing fucking ate the airship.
Yeah, it latched onto the airship and it basically pulled it under the earth, roughly, like probably less than 5 minutes after you had escaped the wreckage.
You said we were still listening to it while we had found a safe clearing.
Well,
It's munching on it.
I said that you still were listening to it, but imagine that it pulled the bulk of it underneath.
Oh, okay.
And then there was the occasional snapping of a beam,
Yeah.
that kind of thing, as like the sort of remnants of it just sort of
Got
sunk
like
underneath.
like a trash compressor.
Yes, exactly. Called Mother Earth.
Poltergeist house.
Mother Earth.
Poltergeist
Mother
house.
Yeah, exactly. Oh god. So there you were. You found a little nook that I believe Faerun's is sort of ferreted out and made sure that you guys could rest safely.
There's only one ferret in the group, though. I want to be clear.
It's very true.
And only one Farron.
I didn't say she literally ferreted it out. That would have been frankly rude.
Yeah. There you go.
But you, I think someone asked Burgess to tell you all a story before you go to sleep.
Oh yeah,
That was
wasn't
super
a very
sad.
good bedtime story.
That didn't make Farron feel very comfortable.
Good night,
Sparky
sweetlings.
Death had nightmares.
Yeah. Yeah, so
Death.
Death. So
Definitely.
yeah, and the story centered around a woman, an indentured servant, who was sold from one family to another, and still felt the sting of that transaction, even though that transaction technically hasn't really happened. It was told in third person. And there's a couple things about that. One of the things was that you got the sinking feeling that it was a story about her, Burgess. And then the other thing is that it also name dropped the two families being the July family and the Lykenstedt family, which is Farron's family.
So we're not saying Farron's last name, right?
I mean,
What do you mean?
You know? We'll see how it plays.
That was a joke. Like,
You mean like nobody talks about Fight Club, like the first rule about Fight Club?
no, like don't tell Burgess that Farron's from the family that turned her into a vampire. I don't know.
I feel like
Oh, yeah, I
Farron
forgot
might
that.
tell Burgess that.
That's Fitz, totally.
Seems
Well-
Oh,
like
can I
Farron
say
might.
one thing?
You might. So
I might.
that has
I might.
not yet.
Speaking of
Exactly.
telling Farron things, when we all like are out of the ship and everything, can I tell everybody about what I found out about the mycelium pulling us to the ground?
Okay, so
Because I never told Farron that or anybody else.
do you wanna do that before or after you fall asleep?
Definitely after.
So
Muttering.
Nice long rest.
I'm gonna. So
Hey, wake up!
I'm gonna preemptively say that.
I'd probably say it the next day because I think Burgess like you don't want to follow that. You know what I mean?
Right. So you're waking up, and you're waking up to,
You don't follow a bard.
a few folks kind of milling about. As a matter of fact, I would almost imagine that Keth gets up first, or close to. It seems like you would also be like, I don't know, like you probably got very inside of an insanely verdant and very much alive on so many levels forest. So how do you go about your morning? Describe your morning.
Okay, so I think I'd get up before everybody, and knowing that I know where they are and everybody else is still asleep, I would go collect some things that like I think that they hadn't tried before, and I want to make them like a breakfast. Like I'm gonna go scavenge some eggs and some like tasty little morels, and just like fry them up some like omelets. I'm gonna make everybody omelets. Like these are like legit omelets too, and then some tea to go along with it, and then I want to chat with them all about the mycelium and what I know happened the night before, but like I'm also kind of want to do it tentatively because they don't have the same like reverence for it that I do, so I'm kind of like afraid how this conversation's gonna go.
Okay.
I would say like about the time you bring around tea, you kind of like like there's a moment where you walk up on time and she's actually like working on something and kind of like finishing like meditating and is like holding onto her ferret, and like she kind of like has you pause for a moment as she kind of finishes. Like the ferret turns into like a hawk.
Fuck yeah.
Doing a ritual.
You're a little confused, however.
Yeah, not working.
No. Everything worked about the ritual, but the moment you reach out to grab what Keth is handing to you, Keth's handing a dagger to you. This dagger has a sort of
This is the
kind of
dirk that I
a
have.
clawed hilt. It has that. You've seen this dagger before. Gosh, this
Yeah.
is. And the moment you grab the dagger and you say, "Thank you," you look down and it is tea.
Do I notice that dagger anywhere on Kath?
No.
Interesting. She goes, "Oh, I drink this."
Preferably, if you'd like. All right. And then I'm basically going to be like, all right, guys, so when we first landed, I was able to touch the earth. And what I found out from the ship, surprisingly, because I've never really listened to much besides the forest, is that the mycelium in the engine and the mycelium in the forest pulled each other closer. And that's why we crashed so fast.
Are you just telling us the time?
I'm telling this to everybody.
Okay, we're all hanging out.
Yeah, we're eating breakfast together.
A damn good
Delicious,
breakfast, if I may add.
delicious breakfast.
Yeah, I'm proficient in cooking.
Yeah.
Hella proficient.
That was
It's
so-
my artisan skill.
That was so second edition of you. I do have the proficiency cooking.
Second edition.
Which literally existed in second edition, like specifically. Just a bunch of proficiency. It was like craft, cooking. Just like, right.
Heck yeah.
You're on a cattle drive.
Time is really
Yeah.
curious about what you mean by like listening to the mycelium, like how you know this.
As is Farron. Tell me more.
Okay, so Ket's gonna basically explain to you guys, right. So when all orcs who live in Kashar have to learn to listen at least the base level. It's something we teach all of our children. They have to...
That's not true, Sparky says. I'm sorry. I wasn't talking to you. No, I'm sorry, continue. I'm sorry. I'm
Sparky,
sorry.
what's wrong?
No, I'm sorry. I wasn't talking to you. It's fine.
Do you want to tell us about it?
No, it's you know what it is, I think.
What?
Was it...
Please just...
All right, sorry. Tell your ancestor to shut up.
Her eyes roll in the back of her head, and she's like clearly in another place right now.
Telling him to shut up. So essentially, we have to be able to do this because the Kashar is an enchanted forest, and without the mycelium to guide you, you will be lost in its depths and most likely lose your sanity or your life. So I, as a listener, have grown a bit more adept than the average orc. I can call upon it to... Sometimes the myceliums told me things. That's how I found Sparky in the first place. It was in the Kashar. It told me where to go, and it led me straight to her. It's something that I can't quite explain. It's just something that anyone can learn, really. Like, if you wanted to learn, you'd have to... I can't teach you.
Sparky reaches out and
I'm not a master,
inside
but...
of you telling the story, and
Kess really bad at explaining
when
things.
you said I found Sparky in the Kashar, Sparky just reaches out and grabs your hand.
Yeah.
Right here.
The Kashar clearly didn't want Sparky to be lost, and it led me all to you, and that is, in my opinion, the mycelium's doing, and the mycelium wants us all to be together as much as it wanted us to be in the Kashar Forest right now. It pulled that ship down for a reason, and here we are.
Kelly
I want to
says,
be candid with all of you.
I hate to interrupt this story. Where's Lucy?
Was she there at breakfast at all? This is me asking.
No,
OLC.
you're just now like realizing that that's the only person who didn't.
Ferg, did you eat her legs or feed them to her?
No. I was sleeping in the tree, and then I was watching you make omelets because I want to learn how to make omelets. And then you're talking about learning from the masters, so I want to do that too. And I didn't touch Lucy because I said not until we're safe.
What would you like to do?
Sharing knowledge is important. We will have time for that.
And I maybe
How
not
about
touch Lucy
more like a
because she lost her
survival
kids.
check? Like more like looking for tracks.
Oh, dude, her kids totally died.
Oh yeah.
Her kids totally died.
19.
Oh yeah, there is a
I like how we're talking
there's
about omelets
kind of
and
a
they're, like,
little
actually
muddy
looking
area
for it.
over there, and there is a solid footprint about her size of a person heading off in that direction. This is actually pretty cool for you because you want to kind of go off on your own and get used to this forest. First of all, on so many levels, you're excited to be here.
Yeah.
Secondly,
It's gonna make you make a saving throw.
and you know it's supposed to be dangerous, but at the same time, like just on the level of getting used to your like natural surroundings, you feel like it's really important to like actually spend some time alone, like about an hour, maybe 2, that kind of thing.
Well, hopefully it won't take me that long to find Lucy.
Yeah.
But I
Are
bring...
you like stealthily just like leaving?
No, I just like bring the attention to the group that it appears she's gone off this way. You know, I'm happy to go investigate. But any tips, Keth, before I go?
Yeah, don't go off by yourself. Did you not hear the part about wandering until you die or lose your sanity?
Do you want to come with me?
Well, we should take...
Now.
I think we should keep us all together. If we leave them here and something comes to them and they scatter,
You hear
it's just not a good
loud
idea.
Scream.
Everybody, let's go. Pack up.
Wow. Keth, you sound like me.
It's go time.
It's a
Glad I'm rubbing off on you.
it's a deep and guttural scream.
I send Junebug off.
Okay,
to
can I make an
fly
insight
to
check
check
about it
out.
really quick? If I think it's Lucy or not, basically.
Let's see. More of a perception check.
Perception check?
Yeah. And
Ooh,
Junebug-
nat 20.
Yeah, and Junebug.
I never
goes
roll
off.
nat
So-
20s.
So a couple of things.
Yes.
So Junebug gets there actually like
Hawk speed?
lightning quick, right? And does confirm yes, it's Lucy.
Oh, okay.
Okay. But the second thing is that from your perception check, you do recognize it as Lucy, but it's not a fear scream. It's like a deep,
Getting it.
grieving scream.
Ooh, like guttural pain. Yeah.
Here.
Okay, but so I don't think she's in danger.
Your instinct says no, and Junebug can verify that too. She's just alone. She's kneeling on the ground, and she looks to be crying.
Okay. Let's say like Junebug does kind of like sweep, and then kind of like comes back, and then and I would say times because I think she just needs a moment.
Make a perception check for Junebug.
I don't think we should leave her by herself,
So
regardless if she needs a minute.
Is it sight-based? Good question. Yes.
Cool. Then pocket advantage on sight based.
Got it.
Sure.
Eyes of a hawk and all that.
Consistent. 18.
So there's something kind of. It's sort of like a gopher like a mohawk kind of like occurring in the ground, some kind of a bulge in the ground that's actually
A dig
sort of
tunnel.
slowly but surely heading towards her from off to what Junebug thinks is the west.
How far away is Junebug from me right now?
She is about
God damn it, Fisher.
about 120 feet.
120 feet. So Junebug has to actually do that swirl, sees it, and within same round, but like darts back to within 100 feet because that's when the telepathy kicks in and is just like, this is what I saw, right? Like to get to me, and time starts running. And he's like,
Kath follows.
Okay, so time starts running immediately with barely any words. Keth follows. I'm
And screams out, "Follow me, everyone! If you want to,
danger.
if you want to keep your sanity."
Come with me if you want to live.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what's really funny? Every time I've tried to practice a character voice for Kath, it always gets very like Arnold Schwarzenegger, like very WW like SmackDowny, and I don't know how to not do that.
Honestly, like, just do it.
Fisher would like us to know that we are potentially in a lot of danger.
Thanks,
Thanks, Fisher.
Oh,
Good looking out.
Translating the words that Fisher's saying.
I was not aware of that.
Fisher knows.
So
It's Fisher burying.
Kath is. Are you like actively taking off in a different direction, and you're like, follow me?
well,
I'm following time, and
time
I'm
took
following
off.
towards where I heard
Okay.
July scream.
Yeah,
Lady
I
July.
took off, said, danger, Keth, come.
And I said, everybody, come with me if you want to leave.
Okay, I'm going with you guys.
Yeah.
Ferg's gonna hurry
Somebody
the
grab
rest of-
Sparky.
oh no, Sparky actually like
Took off?
like runs like Sparky's sort of aware of still like where she is despite her kind of
She's like, I don't want to be alone.
her conversation
Yeah.
with her dark passenger.
We'll grab the NPCs. You know how they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
so
Ferg's like hustling them along.
and Kelly is lagging a little bit behind, but is coming
Kelly.
and is also kind of sort of
goober.
ushering
Liddy?
Kessler and Liddy
Wanna make
along with.
a $1 wager that Kelly's the next
Is,
to die.
I'm
If it's
gonna
daylight,
bet on
where's
Liddy.
what's her face?
No
Liddy?
bet.
Yeah.
Is she still with us? What's the vampire chick?
one
Bogdan.
who's-
Is Bogdan still with us? That's her
Burgess.
name. Burgess.
Incapacitated.
Why is Bogdan in my head?
There's Bogenschultz.
Burgess
Bogey.
actually
people with us.
wasn't present the whole morning.
We haven't
especially-
seen her.
Yeah, and for breakfast.
All right.
It's daylight out.
I know, but
Well, it was daylight out when you escaped the ship.
Oh, that's right. It's real
Yeah.
shady. It's real shady.
Very, very shady.
How do we know that it's like? What are the visual clues that tell us that it's what time of day it is?
Oh well, I mean the general canopy
Yeah.
is illuminated by the sun.
Yeah.
So there is a light of day. It's kind of dimmer light than you're used to.
it's a deep
At night,
forest.
it's just straight up dark, and there are no stars to really look at. So
So
when
we
it,
haven't been there in the
when
dark
it gets
yet.
so when it's no, you just slept
We
through
slept
it.
through it.
This is
Oh,
the
okay.
morning. So when it was dark last
caught
night,
up now.
it was so pitch black.
Like you can't see your hand in front of your face.
Yeah.
Real cozy.
No moonlight.
So anyway, you're running. You get to where Lucy is. She is on kind of a drier area, surrounded by leaves and other bits of
Don't set her on
flora.
fire.
And you can tell she's in the throes of grieving. I mean, and it kind of just hits you like she lost both her children on the flight, and Bogenschultz is nowhere to be found.
We all know how she feels about orcs, though.
Well, but that's not her family, right? She's like she's in the throes of like heavy grief right now, and those are the sort of wails that you hear from her. And then time you get there pretty much first, with you kind of slightly passing her, and
That fits. I have more movement, I'm sure.
yeah. There are these. It's very. The air is very still. Aside from there are these sort of sort of. What do you call those? Like when dandelions make those little puffballs. Why is that not
Seeds.
coming?
Fairies?
Floating seeds. What?
Ejaculation is what Fisher said, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not good.
Not wrong.
So
So randy this evening.
yeah. Anyway, so that all of that sort of is,
Who is it?
floating through the air, and then you kind of see all of that change direction a little bit, and you feel the earth quiver.
Ooh, I quiver.
Yeah, you do.
So,
Yeah, like what do you mean by that?
With anxiety and anticipation.
Oh.
Thanks. Says the giggles from the closet.
and so she is kind of oblivious to your presence right now. She's still just,
Do either of us know, we both know a lot of things. Do either of us know why the ground's quivering?
I feel like you should if you asked us to.
Time is kind of pointing off towards the direction that she saw, whatever it was, and I would say she sends June to kind of go over and kind of circle where see if it still sees it /
June definitely still sees it. And
then it's
Farron,
basically
you can
follow
now
along with
see a massive sort of lump, like an overgrown hedgehog that's
Sandworm.
slowly emerging
Dude.
out of the ground, and you see that
tremors.
out of the ground too, a bunch of roots and stuff like that are splitting
Oh.
and snapping.
It's the Kraken.
So
I think it's just whatever it is breaking everything it passes.
I would like everyone to roll initiative. And Connor,
The
if
sigh.
you could please
Why did
operate
that
the
suck?
initiative board. Ow, that'd be
Oh, gee.
So far away.
I guess it's an average.
Tummy is very full of burrito.
Good.
Are you full of what?
Burrito.
Oh,
Little donkeys?
Little donkeys.
you're a burrito.
That's not good for you.
Burrito!
So,
Okay.
All right, who got what?
Belly.
I got a 14, sir.
What's your dex?
I have 15 dexterity.
You go first.
Put NPCs last.
I got a 12 plus 2.
I have a 15-ish.
I got a
Okay.
6-ish.
Wait. My brain is not working that well today.
That's fine. We're patient.
We've all been up since super early. We feel you.
The best.
And I didn't even I tried to take a nap, but it was...
I was going to take a nap and then I cut my hair instead.
It looks so fresh.
Thanks. So fresh and so clean.
NPCs.
Oh my god. I was like blaring Tom Petty on the way over here and I totally have it stuck in my head.
Nice.
Actually, I think I have a John Mellencamp song stuck in my head, but that came on after Tom Petty.
You can put Bill at 3.
Ew. That's awful, Fisher.
Above NPCs?
Yes.
Bill.
Okay, time.
That's a very...
So again, you're seeing the...
Shatter it.
Well, are you seeing that? It's kind of a distance away from you. Yes, you actually now spot that big lump that's happening that's sort of like moving towards you. Yeah, exactly.
Check it out.
And
use this to brace it.
All the lumps.
and
Lady
and
lumps?
the roots that are sort of being unearthed and
I said check it out,
at the
so.
exact same time. And you can now hear this sort of like grating sound of like just earth rapidly moving.
Oh.
Oh, because I'm first. Is that what's happening?
Yes.
Good lord. So how far away is this thing?
Hot seat.
It's pretty far, but...
It is about 80 feet.
Okay. What does it look like?
You don't see it.
It's
underneath
still the
earth.
mound that's coming up at this point?
Uh-huh.
Interesting.
I mean, what is very clear is that there is something moving towards you underneath the earth, and it's slowly unearthing itself.
Gotcha. So it's still like we still got the tremors thing going on, and then it's starting to come up, perhaps, but it's still like the mound that's being forced in front of it.
Right.
What kind of speed is this thing coming at us with? Like,
make a perception check.
12?
About 40 feet around.
Okay, so like
40 feet every 6 seconds.
Gotcha. Crazy fast, but definitely like person walking at you. That's kind of like it's imposing considering it's a whatever giant lump of whatever.
Right.
Yeah. Underground.
Yeah.
That's my movement.
Kath, I don't know what this is. So Time kind of like mutters some incantations and kind of like moves her hands towards it a little bit. And just kind of like starts to gather up a little bit of wind, kind of like heading towards it. So it's not close enough to really affect it with this yet, but it's kind of like starting to try and like blow the leaves, like any dirt, anything. Like so when it gets close enough to kind of like make it visible, clear and seen, which probably won't be for this round, but it's kind of just getting ready and like standing.
Like
So
uncover it once it's
So
close
is this
enough.
like a ready action style thing, or?
Yeah, sure. How about that? If it gets within like about 30 feet, then like she's gonna like cast this to kind of like clear off whatever it is, or try to.
Yeah, sounds good. Kath.
Keth is going to move up.
Now, let me be clear. So you do not quite see what these two see.
Right.
What you're focused on is that the earth is trembling a little bit.
Well, I mean, Time just shouted at me, Keth, I don't know what this is, but...
So you're looking that direction, and you kind of just see like a lump or a mound in the earth, but your attention is going back and forth between, is Sparky okay? Is Lucy okay? Like, and that's how I want to kind of describe like why you can't really see what they see.
Okay.
Lucy is again, she is just like, she's probably like in this very moment she is has the barest of an inkling that something's wrong.
Like she's not paying attention to her surroundings at all.
Right.
Right.
And she just started.
Okay. So I'm going to look at Sparky and be like, Sparky, you need to protect your aunt. Go be next to her, and if anything comes to harm her, protect her. And I'm going to basically... Are they like... is like Lucy closer to whatever Times like was yelling at me about then?
Actually, I would say that at this point,
Or is it like a triangle?
Time is the closest to the mound that's kind of heading towards you, or like what they say, like pointing towards there. And then Lucy's right behind Time.
Okay, I'm going to run up in front of Time then. but like slightly off to the side so Time can still see what's going on. And I'm gonna ready an action that if anything,
Time will still be able to see what's going on, even if you go directly in front of her.
I want to give her partial cover if I can then.
Cool.
But so basically, I'm gonna ready an action with Time, quarterstaff, double-handed, just like whatever's coming out, I'm gonna whack it if it's coming out my face.
Right.
Or Time's face.
Right.
Anyone's face.
No face huggers.
No
You're
face
saying.
huggers.
No face huggers.
And I'll do my like full movement 40 feet. So
Okay.
it should I'm like 40 feet away from it theoretically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. After Keth is Ferg.
Ferg looks at Kelly and is like,
What should I do?
you stay back here, you take care of these two, don't get hurt.
Just nest
You're
her in
actually
CPC.
saying that to Kelly as Kelly's about 10 feet behind you. So Kelly already kept a safe distance from
Yeah.
this whole thing anyways.
She watched Bush get swallowed.
And you know, and it's
Yeah.
so she's almost one step ahead of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you got this.
But like definitely like shoving Liddy and what's her butt like behind Kelly, like, no, you guys go. And then getting up between so I see where Ferg or Keth and Time are.
Yeah.
And we're gonna get
Basically, they're next to each other with
Yeah.
Keth being right in front of Time.
we're gonna get just on the other side of Time from where Keth is, and make sure that we're solidly in between this thing and Lady July.
The NPCs and
Okay.
everything.
Got it.
NPC nest. Oh, yeah.
I light 2 torches.
Okay. Okay.
Ready
Yeah.
for whatever.
Do you? Where are you in relationship to everyone else?
I
If-
figure like I'm in.
If Keth is like up front and then Time's right behind there, and then Ferg would be maybe just a little bit behind both of them, or maybe almost
No,
there.
I said in front of. So like level with Keth, but just slightly off to the side.
Okay,
But
got it.
like making sure that my body is in between this thing and Lady July.
Okay,
I see myself
I
as
hear you now.
like beside, like sort of beside Time.
Okay. And so you light 2
'Cause these-
torches.
Like
and
these
you,
2 went in front,
Yeah.
and then I'm kind of like at the
Beefy.
ready, sort of
Okay.
like behind
Yeah.
them, and then I just light 2 torches.
Cool.
Mhm.
Perfect. So your bow's still on your back. You got these 2 torches in
It's
your
kind of-
hands. Yeah.
Let's do this.
And
It
then
didn't. That thing in the ship didn't like fire, so.
and so the moment you head up, you are next to Time. You guys give each other sort of a knowing, like, it's coming look. And then this thing moves towards you, and it's basically 40 more feet. So right now, at this point, it would be 40 feet away from you. And if you couldn't see it now, you can see it. You know, again, these massive roots are like unearthing and snapping in half. And now you can see the barest of some kind of a creature, and it definitely looks plant life. Like it definitely looks like it's got a lot of browns and greens and vines sort of like wrapping around sort of appendages that are themselves vines. And it's slowly unearthing itself. And I'd like you to make a history check. And you can make this at advantage.
17.
So, yeah, this is the Quarter Kraken. But it's one of its appendages. It's a massive creature. And so it's probably in several different places in this area, and it might even have it might even actually have stretched out from the crash site.
Like it's a branch off that or something.
Yes. So this is not the. You would guess that this is not the heart of the Quarter Kraken or like the main body of it, but it is one of its very, very lengthy appendages.
Do I feel like it's something that we can handle? Or do I feel like we should be running away? Like, is it gonna eat us?
You honestly don't know. You've never come up against this. You've only heard rumors.
Farron yells, Keth, what is it?
It's more of the quarter kraken, Farron. I don't know if we can take it, but I don't know how to get Lady July out of here right now. She's barely aware.
If only we had somebody who could pick her up.
I guess I could carry her. But what if she doesn't give me her consent?
Sorry, don't mean to laugh.
Then you leave her to die.
She was going to sell me.
So that's what that creature is. The NPCs. So Sparky goes immediately over to her aunt, and she gets in front of Lucy, who is now, like I said, she's just now starting to mobilize, just now starting to realize like something's happening around her. And Sparky just hauls off and slaps her in the face.
Yeah, she does.
And Lucy looks completely affronted at a certain point, and Sparky just like, Aunt Lucy, we have to go, and just grabs her shoulder and yanks her up with the surprising strength of that halfling, and then they both head towards where Kelly and the other two are, and basically just start hauling ass that way.
Yeah, they do.
Who else do we have? Kelly will
go up and poke it with a stick.
Well, from a distance,
Jesus.
Kelly will actually create a ball of fire and hurl it at the creature.
This is for Bush, you bitch. Sorry.
Yes,
so
Fisher.
The creature is still kind of buried under a lot of earth. That's
right. I'm buried under a lot of debt.
So the ball of fire whizzes by and then just kind of gets buried into the dirt. And that is the NPCs. Who's next?
Me. So it looks like we're cheesing it.
What do you mean cheesing it?
Leaving.
That's up to you all.
Cheese it. It's up to you. I mean, I'm not a fan of fighting something I don't have to. So time just says like, if we're gonna go, we're gonna go. And you see her like point to a spot, maybe about like if this thing's 40 feet away-ish from her.
Yeah,
like
40 feet and a decent amount of cover.
Mm-hmm. That's fine. To a point like 10 feet in front of it, so 30 feet from us, like at that ground that's down there. And so like we're in the forest, right? There's a fair amount of like moisture and things. Like it's kind of just like it's forest.
So moist.
So you see, like you actually feel around us like it get a little warmer for a moment as I'm drawing the heat and energy out of that like that square of forest, and I'm using shape water to basically like freeze whatever like moisture is in the ground there. Like I'm not expecting a lot or anything, but really like in the path of this thing coming to us, like if it's a plant, it's not going to want to deal with cold and potentially like damage it. Maybe just create a little bit of a barrier for it.
Some difficult terrain at the very least,
or force it to come up out of the ground. I don't know. Mm-hmm. And then she starts retreating, like full speed back.
Okay. As you retreat full tilt back, Keth, you see this ground start to kind of frost and then quickly freeze up.
A little fog on it right now. That's probably painful.
Yeah, full steam. Yeah.
I'm gonna go back a few feet and say to you, like, I think that we should leave to fight another day. And I'm not gonna go back very far. I'm gonna stay next to Farron and retreat like 10, 15 feet, however far back Time and Farron were, and wait. Ready in action for if it pops out of the ground at either of us to hit it.
Got it. So you're like almost like retreating back to a line and then retreating together. It sounds.
I don't want to just leave anybody behind.
Right,
I feel like Keth would not be like bye. Like no. Like I'm not gonna jump behind like my friends.
Totally picking up what you're putting down.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like, what are we seeing like? Just in front of us, like where we
mountain dirt coming
like,
at us.
In terms of like what's on the ground, like is there grass on the ground? Is there?
No, it's think of it as like kind of a fairly traditional forest canopy, lots of leaves, probably from the previous season, but a fair amount of dirt with random roots, kind of like coming up, here and there. muddy patches, you name it. Like it's just and it's not a complete flat forest. There's like a lot of dimension to this forest.
Okay.
But that's ultimately what you're seeing. But then of course, like directly sort of 40 feet in front of you, you see this like unnatural sort of unearthing of this huge like moundy thing. And again, like the breaking of roots and stuff like that as it's like kind of coming up. You can barely see it, and then suddenly time cast this sort of incantation. So now it's accompanied by this like fog business that's like
Now we just need some lasers.
Like, and then pink Floyd stars.
I mean, we've already got the light show from the sun and the trees, right?
Yeah. So that's essentially what you're looking at.
Does it look like it's slowing down because of the cold?
Hasn't hit it
Oh,
yet.
I'll get to that
Okay.
on its turn.
It's gonna speed up.
Yeah, it like slaps.
That's not gonna happen.
Ferg totally trusts Keth in this situation because Ferg has like barely heard mention of it a long time ago in like an appendix somewhere.
Right.
Yeah, the quarter what?
Yeah.
The quarter kraken.
So Berg is gonna get 20 feet behind Keth and Farron.
Yeah.
And be like, y'all run, I'll cover you, and whip out the red pencil just in case.
Yeah.
And so like we can do a like expeditious, always covered retreat.
Mm-hmm. Got it.
That's kind of what I was going for too.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're like picking up. Look at us.
Read a book or two on tactics.
Yeah.
Is there anything like is there like a big log in the vicinity or like a big like piece of brush that's like between us and the Kraken?
No, not between you and the Kraken, but there is in your periphery for certain.
Okay.
10 to 20 feet away from you.
Okay. And we're all like moving.
Yeah, it looks like everyone's just kind of moving back at
Right.
a hurried pace.
So as we're like moving back, I just like grab a giant piece of brush
yeah,
and so like as we're moving, like I just kind of like throw it behind us and I light it on fire.
that kind of a brush, you don't. First of all, again, a lot of the brush would be like 10 to 20 feet away from you, and it doesn't look like it'd be something that would immediately catch on fire in terms of just like the intense sort of like moist nature of the forest.
Okay.
It's
It's
not
nothing that I can like pull and then just like leave the torch under to kindle.
You don't really think it would work.
Okay.
Honestly, it's just too fresh.
Okay.
Yeah. But you do have 2 lit torches for sure. Still.
Oh my god, don't set the forest on fire.
Guys, it just
Well, it's a good thing that
can't
I
have nice
understand
things.
that won't work anyway.
Gasoline.
But Bill, lighter fluid.
Only you saw that. Bill, I just saved your life.
You also just
I also
endangered
almost
it.
just caused your death.
If a
But it's all good.
tree falls in the forest and no one's there to hear it.
Oh, is that talking about your new soundproofing?
Or
Good job.
the fact that
But-
I didn't notice that I was about to die.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I stretched
so anyway,
and smacked
what
my
is
staff, and then it like almost fell on Bill, but I caught
Farron
it.
is like search. Can I make a survival check for like best quickest route to get us? Like, can I lead us on the surest footed path?
You absolutely can. No check required.
Okay,
you just
cool.
you just know exactly
Okay.
where to go and how to go about doing it.
Guys,
there's
this way.
There's like I'm not even going to say specifically what it is, but there's 2 places that you feel compelled to like
Okay.
warn people about. Like, don't step there, go around that.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
All right.
Yeah.
Get along, little duckies.
Okay, so my turn. So it emerges fully, and it is this kind of a viney, like polypy looking thing that has a bunch of like almost tentacle like vines sort
Tubers?
of like coming out of it. Yeah,
Tubers.
yeah, for sure. It looks like a giant sort of like polypy tumor. Of a vine that's like all knotted together and then just like compressed,
For a second,
and
Keth really wants to cook it.
And well, and it gets even worse for that cooking urge because it's just littered with it's littered with fungus. Like it has a bunch of fungus patches on it with the occasional solid mushroom. But and a lot of those mushrooms you could tell were actually ripped off in the movement underneath the earth. But that fungus is still prevalent. It's almost like a purplish sort of a fungus. But anyway, it's coming straight at you, and it starts to build up speed until it hits that frozen area, and it stops essentially.
Just in time.
And
Drink.
And oh my god,
Dad jokes.
Time jokes.
And it kind of forms around it, like its body is not it's like a little octopus like in a sense where it actually kind of expands around the frozen area, and it sort of tests out the ground around it. And then by the time it is fully around it, that's the end of its turn. So essentially, you wasted a shit ton of movement from it. You wasted it moved about 10 feet, and then it was done.
Yeah.
So and that is
Francis, do that again.
its turn. The NPCs keep on moving. Kelly thinks to fire off another firebolt, but thinks otherwise and basically just concentrates on getting Liddy and Kessler out of that area. Almost thinking to herself, I shouldn't have brought them in the first place. Like there's that sort of like thought process. And what else?
Sparky and Lucy doing anything?
Is Sparky and Lucy do? Oh yeah, they're running. They're just running.
Running.
Yeah, like.
I'm totally picturing them like running, but like Lucy like running and like Sparky just letting off like little jolts of electricity, like very cartoon style, while like Lucy just keeps like. Sorry.
So let's see, who's the closest right now? I think it's probably Ferg, Eth, Farron, like you three.
Well, Ferg's behind me.
Yeah, waiting for you.
I'm next to Farron.
Yeah.
Or no, Farron ran. Right, I was
Yeah.
next to Farron, so I'm closest, and then Ferg's like 20 feet behind me. I think you said.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about so this beast is about 30 feet from you.
Yeah.
And then out of the brush
Second
comes
tendril.
a startling scene of basically a swarm of rats overtake this thing.
Ooh.
Pied Piper style.
Pied Piper style.
Overtake it like they're attacking it?
Dude,
Like you went from being able to see this creature, and of course, like I said, it's kind of stretched out in like a U formation, like testing out that those frozen bits on the ground, and then all of a sudden there is this swarm of rats overtakes it to the point where you can barely see any of this creature. It's all rats.
And it starts forming into arms and becomes
Yeah.
mecha quarter rat.
Voltron
King.
unite.
Yeah, right. I was like, oh my.
Is it like that though?
No, it's
Yeah, it's
really
probably-
not.
it's probably
It's we were just kidding. The rats are everywhere on this thing.
like you
And-
can't see the vine, and the rats are just devouring it.
and it begins to thrash about like
okay, so
in
they're
protest
attacking
for sure.
Got it.
And yeah, you get in the squealing of the rats and they're kind of flying everywhere and
Our main lifeless bard.
so
Where she be?
that is the NPC's turn. Time.
Yes.
So this seems like it's working really well. I couldn't be able to like hit a fireball off of that like scorn hits on some rats. Would I?
You have
Um,
a fireball?
the
Firebolt.
the creature is mostly covered right now with rats.
But you could freeze the ground in front of it again.
Yeah, there's a range on that. And I'm 60 from it right now. You guys are about like 30 from me ish.
I'm 30 from the creature, 20 from.
Yeah, and I'm 60 back because it's 30. It's
Yeah.
I was 30 from where I made that, and then I moved back. So I'm gonna say like at your feet, then you start like you see like the fog sort of kick up, and that same sort of like freezing of the ground.
I feel like
happen
Keth
again.
doesn't wear shoes.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm aiming at basically the cube that's below the ground anyway, right? So it's like you kind of feel like, ooh.
Nice.
And then time I was like, this seems like the perfect opportunity. What are you waiting for? And then keeps 30 going.
Right. Kef?
I
Nature
am
sort itself.
going to listen to Ferg. I feel like we're having like a trust moment, we're listening to each other. He told me to run and that he was going to be right behind us, so I'm going to double move to catch up with everybody.
Double move. Got it. Ferg.
Do you move? You're next to me now.
Ferg takes one look at rats and sees the ground freezing again and is like, all right, best opportunity, and double move.
Okay. Aaron?
Bringing up the rear.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'll double move and
Same.
leave. Yeah, be like trying to lead the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
And a couple of rounds basically doing that, and you sort of look in the distance. There's nothing pursuing you. The sound of the grinding earth abates, and the manic squealing of all the rats slowly but surely dissipate. And so we're out of initiative.
Cool.
Nice.
And basically I'm left with all of you sort of realizing that you are relatively safe. And Lucy is on her knees hugging a fully standing Sparky. And they're crying, just embracing one another, glad that they're safe.
Yeah.
And Lucy at a certain point gets up and looks at all of you and says, no eye contact whatsoever. Thank you. Something smells good.
Yeah, you're just in time for breakfast.
Junebug over here.
So we made it back
Keep
to
an eye
camp.
and swim. Junebug actually is
Are we back at the camp then? Is that what you're saying?
that's only 100 feet from where we were.
Yeah.
Maybe. But Junebug is kind of overwatching what's happening and kind of keeping an eye on whatever the scenario is.
Yeah.
Just wants to be clear.
So we successfully.
Keth brings Lucy. Yeah.
Great.
Keth brings Lucy an omelet and tea and says, "Let's not wander off again," and doesn't even give her a chance to respond. Walks away.
Yeah.
Also, probably shouldn't dawdle.
Ferg is like, hey, Kath, you should
Well, get your
the
stuff
nearest
together,
village.
y'all.
Yeah, no, we're
I'll
ready
let
to
it
go.
Yeah, we got it.
All right. So we said we were right here before, right?
Actually, let me interrupt for 1 second. So Junebug is doing the circuit again, and you and your familiar are having a conversation. The interesting thing about Junebug that's a little strangely reassuring to Time. Time obviously thinks in many different facets and dimensions, because she's a nightmare hippie girl. Sorry, it's one of my favorite Beck songs. And so but one of the things that's reassuring about Junebug is that Junebug can communicate telepathically to you, and you can actually have a very normal conversation that the span of time that exists between you and Junebug is like a straight line, and it's completely linked, and it doesn't get interrupted by all these thoughts and visions.
She's my temporal support animal.
Kind of. Yeah.
She grounds you.
Thanks. Yeah, I mean...
Yeah, actually, that's fucking great.
Temporal support animal.
That's great.
It's happening.
Yeah.
Coined it, TSA.
Yeah. You're going to just take him into grocery stores.
Sounds familiar to me.
All willy-nilly.
This is my hawk.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or toad, or whatever it is at the time.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Miss. There are no hawks allowed. It's my temporal support animal.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
What animal is allowed? Give me an hour.
Anyway, so
cool.
But you and Junebug have a conversation that basically comes down to the point where if someone is alone in this area, that's not good. That's when the quarter kraken's appendages sort of start hunting.
Makes sense to me.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Taking off the weak.
I mean, they definitely tell the young orcs that don't wander off where the quarter kraken gets you.
Ooh.
There you go.
But also for reals though, don't do that.
Yeah.
Time 100% communicates that to like. Appears that this quarter kraken is an opportunistic hunter, and I recommend that we stay in groups of at least 2.
Everybody, buddy up, buddy. Buddies.
I'm gonna. Yeah. Well, no, you stick with some NPCs, and I'll stick with some NPCs.
Because it was really
Kelly can watch someone,
because
guys.
it was really cinematic. The freezing of the ground. Take an inspiration point for that.
Yeah, that was cool.
Don't wander off of the quarter crack and get you. Take an inspiration point for that. And smart idea to bust out 2 torches. Take an inspiration point for that. Even though it wasn't needed, nice drawback to to basically like
It's a basic thing that's not thought of, I think, in a lot of games where people are like torches. Just like torches have a lot of cool uses,
Yeah.
It worked. It
especially
worked
in
in
a
the
dark,
ship.
ass, scary, burnable place.
So
Sorry about your home.
So last week you
Lucy-
told us we were here-ish.
yeah, Lucy wolfs down the meal, and then you guys get moving. I'm assuming. I told you that you were.
We're 3 days from the closest
Way station.
way station.
Yeah.
Way.
But I mean, you can put us wherever you want.
Yeah.
They can't see the map.
Right there.
That's the closest one.
Yeah, you're sort of off to this side. This is the closest one you're thinking.
Yep.
And you made a survival check last meeting and came to the conclusion that you were roughly 3-ish days away from the journey.
Okay, so as we start off our journey, I'm gonna say the dead tend to wander this part of the forest. They're rejects from what I now understand Fallenstein. They were kind of a mystery to us orcs before, but it seems to make sense to me. So stick close together. Don't wander off by yourself because the quarter kraken can also get you, and you don't want to lose your mind and die. So stick in line, people.
Please keep your arms and legs inside the vehicle at all times.
Keth is like considering tying everybody together at this point.
And like
Balloon.
Farron, I would say, is taking this opportunity to spend some time with Keth and like ask questions about any like.
Oh yeah,
Or,
sure. I'm telling you about
scene.
everything.
Yeah, like basically like Ranger
And you
Keth
too.
walk through the Kashar Forest. Like we're just like fascinated, like sucking it all in. Like
Right.
It's awesome. Hell yeah.
watch and like Farron's like watching the way like you move through the forest and like trying to what are you listening for? You know, like
Yeah.
well, what does that mean? Why did we go that way? You know, like trying
Yeah.
to zero in on the way you track through the forest.
After the
Hell yeah.
first 2 hours, you can consider forest to be definitely like your favorite terrain. Like if it wasn't before, that's what I'm saying. Is
Okay,
like,
cool.
I'm kind of using
Yeah.
the revamped ranger style thing in the Unearthed Arcana, where essentially if a ranger spends a certain amount of time in any terrain, that they can just sort of adapt to that.
Hell yeah.
anyway,
it helps when you got
that's-
a insider too.
You're fully in that. Like you can do survival checks and hunt.
Farron's gone full
horses.
Rambo.
You might want to reread that in the player's handbook and kind of like get a sense of like what you can do and accomplish with that, because I can't recall it all in my brain. Right
Still
now.
based upon the normal
I think
like,
it's
rules
like-
as written, but just like
you get, like,
for the
initiative
Unearthed Arcana.
advantage.
No, it's,
and,
yeah,
like,
it's
stuff
still
like
based
that.
on the rules written in the player's handbook. It's just that
What's it called?
it's called favored terrain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just look it up under the ranger class.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, you guys start moving and grooving.
Yeah.
While you're moving, I would say an embarrassed Lucy Bly. I'm gonna say that she. You hear her voice sort of behind you, Berg, and she says, "Do you have kids?"
Roll to see if you have kids.
Yeah.
I think it's D100 for Ferg's case.
Yes.
D4 minus
100
1.
kids.
Just kidding.
I'm like, oh yeah, that could.
That you know of.
Is your seat strong?
Well, she just asked you that question. Do you have kids?
Did you just make the Game of Thrones joke?
Always.
Maybe.
Ferg doesn't look at Lady July, but is like, says no, we don't have kids, but I'm really sorry about yours. And just sort of like wanders a little away.
as you're moving away, she just says, "Don't ever have them. It's just too big of a risk."
Too much of a weakness.
Dicks.
Right? I wasn't gonna say it.
Ferg just nods and is like, "Oh, that's pretty sage advice. Like, don't have any like." Has already lived a life where like there's not a whole lot that you can hold against them. So like,
Fisher says you can always make better ones.
Why add something?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, you anyone who's anyone can kind of tell that Lucy's in a very dark place right now.
Oh, yeah.
Death Steward.
Literally and emotionally. Yeah. I want somebody to roll a d20, please.
Not it.
Go for it.
6.
Really?
Sorry. We all die. DPK.
Already.
Kelly, Liddy, and I can't remember the third person's name. I'll get sucked in.
Kestrel? Keister. No.
Keister.
It's canon. No take backs.
I keep wanting to say Kesley, but it's not Kesley. It's close though.
They're always trying to get water
Kessler.
rights.
Wait, what's the...
Yeah.
It's Liddy, Kelly, and
Kessler.
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 I was right. I think I said something
Keister.
else in there.
Believe in yourself.
They all get sucked in by the quarter kraken.
So,
Oh, God.
along the first day, there's so Farron, you're having like actually like the time of your life, because not only
That's
are
why
you
I'm glad the ship crashed.
You're like,
it's
best
the
day
thought
ever.
didn't cross your mind,
Yeah.
for sure, right? And,
Best
And I'm
vacation.
kind of embarrassed about all the death.
and not
feeling
only are you getting used to your surroundings and traversing the landscape quite in quite an adept fashion. Even kind of you almost feel like you're catching up to like Keth's sort of the way Keth moves to the forest, and you're definitely kind of getting like catching your stride. You're also finding all of easy ass mushrooms, some of which you've never even seen before, and you're
I'm
moving,
telling you which ones are poisonous.
and you're
Good.
you're
Bill.
moving. Well, so would you actually know?
I mean, we forage and eat out of the forest, so I feel like I would know which ones would kill you and not. Like,
Ferg's also going to
I'm an outlander, too. Yeah.
So a part of me feels like you definitely.
I might not know what all their uses are for, but I know which ones will kill you.
Will kill you,
know?
and which are edible.
Yes.
Well,
Totally.
regardless, I'd say I'm like taking samples.
That's fine. I'm still letting you know this
Like,
one will kill you if
because,
you eat
some
it.
Things can be processed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah,
like
they can.
Samples.
And
Get it for you, baby.
Ferg is just like
My best
writing shorthand notes in this little tiny notebook that you don't know where it came from. Like,
It keeps disappearing and reappearing.
yeah.
Yeah.
so and coming across, as you're sort of taking samples of a bunch of mushrooms, you come across a grove that it's not readily apparent at first. You lift up a couple leaves and you see a couple of really, really beautiful mushrooms that you've actually seen before on the outskirts of the Kashar Forest, and you recognize as well. They're chanterelles.
Nice.
And they're very, very beautiful patch of like pinkish orange chanterelles. Obviously the kind that won't kill you, as you guys both identify.
Yes.
Because there are lookalikes. And then you keep like kind of you're pushing the forest, kind of like the leaf canopy, and you realize that you're in an area that's encompassing close to about 100, maybe 150 feet diameter of just solid mushroom cover of just chanterelles, and it's a little, actually, like, you're not used to this level of cover.
Yeah.
To the point where you're even like, you're even hesitant to just walk through this. Like you would have to almost clear a path as you go and cut a swath. It's almost, you could almost make like a maze, you know. And I would like you to make knowledge nature check, please. Same for you.
Can Farron just do it at
I
advantage?
think you get it. I think,
Or should we
I
both
think
make
Farron
one?
gets an advantage for being in.
Oh, for being in
Favorite
terrain.
terrain.
Yeah, so you rolled 2d20.
Oh, okay.
That's not going to be great, Bill.
Go
That's a-
20.
That's a solid 3.
What's your nature?
I got some mushroom in my eye. I don't know what's going on.
Is that the same as knowledge also? Wait.
This is a nature or survival check, Bill?
Oh, just,
It is nature.
okay, so 18.
18.
That is large.
What'd you get?
I got a 3, like a straight 3.
Okay. You're concentrating on other things, but Farron, you're just blown away at.
I'm trying to keep people from stepping on the mushroom collective.
for sounding like total hippy dippy. Like you're just blown away at the vibrational quality of these particular mushrooms.
Ooh, real vibes.
If you look over,
So-
time probably has her ear to it.
Okay, so I'm gonna say that Farron is like, while Keth's like trying not to. I'm gonna call on one of your things, and
Yeah.
you're gonna go in it. Like you're just gonna start getting it up in there and start collecting samples while Keth and everybody else
You
is
wanna vibrate
distracted.
it?
I feel like Farron's having a moment like stumbling upon like migrating like monarch butterflies and seeing like just like crazy swathy like just he's like completely in awe.
Yeah.
And he just like walks out into the mushrooms and gets low, puts his hands on them, and he like
Get all up in there.
and he turns to Kath and he's like, Kath, what am I feeling over it? Like, is this normal? Do you see this all the time? And like, kind of like drops the stealth for a second just to like have this geek out moment.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it's like gorgeous to Farron, and he's just like drawn to it. He like almost wants to roll in it, and he like turns back to be like, what am I feeling? What's going on? Is this? Do you see this all the time? Yeah.
And I love your compel, but I'm going to take it actually a little step further.
Yeah,
You reach down and you see one.
Okay.
that's what I was kind of going
Yeah.
for. Like you get it. Yeah,
Sounds like Farron.
yeah.
Can I have like an Alice in Wonderland moment
But
where,
does
like,
Keth know?
I pick two up and I like split them apart and I kind of like do the like right mushroom or the left mushroom thing. And then I just kind of like
Sure.
Do you go
do
for a
little
cap or a
both.
stem?
Yeah, exactly.
Contract.
Yeah, and I would say that at first, it's just you're just picking up on that like vibrational quality. It's starting to. Wait, is it starting to? No, you should just keep going, and so you just keep going, and you start. You have a little kind of a makeshift sack that you've created, and you're putting mushrooms into that. You're harvesting, storing, storing. And suddenly, a lot of the mushrooms that you're storing are crying out, but not in pain. They're crying out in that they don't understand. They're actually speaking so slow. Are they speaking? You're not even fully aware of what's happening right now. But here's basically outside of like the sensory like input that Farron is experiencing right now. What's actually happening is there is some kind of communication that is attempting to take place. But I need you to make a wisdom saving throw. And here's why. Because the communication is very slow. So slow that it feels like, imagine hearing something in such slow motion that just having the patience to see it to its conclusion is mind-numbing.
Like it hurts.
Hold on.
What?
One, time kind of comes over and like sees that you kind of like working with this in your head, and kind of just like slowly like she's like seeing an element of this and like kind of slowly just like touches you and is just like slowing down the beat and then just like bringing you to this place, and you roll a 20 on that.
It's almost like she divined it.
So wait, describe how time interacts with Farron at this point, because I I'm curious.
So, like, well, you were describing that, like, this is an element of, like almost mind-numbingly, like, slow, right? Like, trying to, like, match up the frequency with
Nobody
it.
can hear this but Farron at this point. Yeah.
Well, it's like, so it's Time's not hearing it, but she's, like, getting the sense from, like, this sort of, like, beat and looking at this, like, flow of magic that she kind of, like, dips into almost for a moment, but, like, at least saw a moment of this, maybe can't understand what's happening, or rather understand the wording, but understands the mechanics of what's happening. And so she, like, comes over and, like, sees, like, oh, this is that moment. And comes over to like Farron and like touches him on the back, right? It's kind of like this very like grounding, kind of like it's gonna be okay, like level of connection to it, and then is slowly like strumming on the back a little bit, and then slowing that pace down, so kind of like bringing them in tune with that like slower pace, and then just providing like a grounding level to kind of like get past whatever struggle it was to try and connect.
Mm-hmm. You actually feel your heartbeat slowing to the thrum of the communication, the slowness of the communication, and then you pass out in the forest, and you basically fall over a bunch of these mushrooms, and you can tell that Farron is still alive and still breathing, but is in another place right now.
I've been there, man.
And
can I entice like you've been there? Are you like
You get an inspiration, by the way.
for going with it? Well, I'm already at 3.
Oh.
But
worth it.
so like Time would do anything to feel connected to the universe again. And, like if you see me having this moment, are you at all enticed to join me?
Yeah.
Guys,
I'm also
we can't all be tripping.
Because the way I was seeing it, and like Time walking,
We're gonna have
over,
you carrying their
is
asses out of this
Time
forest.
Also knows Farron, like on like they geek out on mushrooms and like mycology stuff, like that's like their connected force, and so I would imagine that Time saw Farron and knew that Farron was having this moment, and like of real excitement, and also just like this is it, and like she like kind of wanted to come over and help him. And then realized, oh, this is it.
Legit
I don't want to
shit.
go down that rabbit hole.
Then I'll say like what Time actually does is comes over and like and instead of like handling your back, like does the same process but goes and kind of like slips her hand like into your hand and kind of like does it with like a squeezing, and she grabs a mushroom because we're doing this together.
Yeah.
Like basically like
And Farron's like, pass out.
your heartbeat starts beating a little faster in excitement. You know, you're
buddy.
this is happening. It's totally happening. It's happening. And then and then Farron like falls to the ground. You kind of help him to the ground, and you're waiting. Nothing happens. This is just a
bad mushroom. Bad mushroom.
No, it's not even a bad mushroom. It's just a full-on, like, not psychoactive at all, edible mushroom. As a matter of fact, now you're curious as to what's happening. You actually don't understand it.
You still got an inspiration for that?
No, I'm at 3 anyway.
Can I roll an Arcana check to see if I've ever heard of anything about this?
You could roll not an Arcana, but a Nature check for sure.
That works.
4.
So that's an 8.
This is beyond anything that you've ever studied at all in the.
I already rolled.
So I would say that maybe Farron's a little concerned. I'm sorry, maybe Ferg's a little concerned about Farron.
Oh, Ferg's, yeah.
Can I go up and is there anything that I know I already made a nature check, but is there anything that I could glean from this situation?
What did you make?
Well, I rolled earlier when Farron rolled when we first got there.
You can roll a nature check, not an advantage.
I didn't roll at advantage the first time. I got 4.
Okay, so I'm gonna go straight to you.
I'm sorry. Kat has no
imagine
idea.
this sort of scene of like everybody's voices echoing and sort of hovering around you. Farron, are you okay, Farron?
Or you, Farron?
And it's all like blending into a weird kaleidoscope of what's real and what's not. You feel a little fractured in terms of you don't know like when is now and wow, if this is even remotely how time operates, like this is bizarre. And then something solidifies, and you feel yourself in somewhat of a room.
Just somewhat.
It feels like a room. You can't quantify it because you can't see anything. This is all based on like feeling, and you're surrounded by many, many minds. Maybe just one.
Mimes?
Brains.
Minds.
Mine.
Consciousnesses.
Okay. Yeah.
And you kind of feel your body. Like you
Yeah.
feel alive.
Uh-huh.
Okay. You're alive. You're kind of getting a sense of your surroundings. Oh, wow. It was painful to adjust to that level of like flow speech. You're not even sure if you could do it again.
Yeah.
And they're all saying greetings in a way.
Huh.
They're all saying hello in a way.
Does it feel like
welcoming you in
an infinite space or like a claustrophobic space?
That's a really great question.
In this
Both.
like dream walking sense. Does it feel like I'm in a vast ocean, or does it feel like I'm in a box?
It doesn't feel like you're trapped.
I feel
But
like
it
It's like
does,
Steven in the cluster.
airplane hangar.
But it does feel like you're watched
Yeah.
by many, many, many
Yeah.
fields of vision.
So can I communicate?
What would you like to say?
I'd like to say thank you for having me.
So polite.
Sup?
Way to go, Range Ranger.
Like
We will-
like I'm like my name like I introduced myself. My name's Farron. Thank you for having me.
We welcome those who would not harm us.
I have no wish to harm you.
We understand that.
Mhm.
We welcome those.
Feel welcome.
We're tired.
Why are you tired?
There's just so much to push back towards.
How can I help you?
If the spiral was a disc, it would leave us room to be who we really are.
Where is this place?
Not a place.
How did I get here?
Repeat the last question.
Where is this place?
This place. Terra Sentia. It's not overly complex.
What would you like to show me?
In particular, certainly seem like you're a navigator.
Can you show me the secrets of the Kashar Forest?
Being that you're a navigator, it seems ignorant that you would ask that.
So you're saying I already know.
We're saying that nobody knows. And nobody ever will.
Salmon skin roll.
Who are you?
We are tribe Cantharella.
Are we underground?
No. It's said exactly like that.
Are you in me?
No.
Yes.
Right. Am I in you?
Also yes.
Oh.
We are in a perfect synergistic relationship right now.
I feel that.
You are working quite hard to understand us, and we appreciate it.
Can you be with me always?
We are with you always.
Whoa.
Again, your ignorance.
Pardon my ignorance.
There's nothing to pardon. Ignorance is neither good nor bad. It's just a lack thereof.
Well,
So fucking funny, dude.
I love how you're just like tripping balls. I'm totally picturing you like Bill and Ted, like
Bruh.
so great.
But we need the spiral to be disc.
I want to bring you the spiral. I want it to be a disc.
Never bring us the
Well,
spiral.
I mean, I want the spiral to become a disc. How can I help you? Like, how can I find the disc?
The heart is in danger.
The heart is in danger. How can I find the heart?
And the words begin to, again, like, kind of fracture. And your thought process begins to speed up.
No.
And its ability to speak begins to slow down. You're not sure which is happening, one or the other.
¿Por qué no los dos?
And it just says, we're being pushed from both sides. The spiral to... And you wake up. Who's attempting to wake Farron up?
Oh, I'm not.
Probably all three of us.
I'm not trying to wake Farron up. I just got like Farron's
But
head in my lap.
Is anyone attempting to wake Farron up? And how would you do it?
Berg is just watching this, making sure that nothing is coming at us from anywhere.
Yeah.
I would say like I've probably got Farron's head in my lap, like I'm kind of like cross-legged on the ground, and it's not like specifically trying to wake him up, but it's kind of like mopping his brow with like some water and kind of just like so that,
there
like,
you go.
Mhm.
So you begin to be washed away by a sort of a flood. It feels like a flood, like as if the forest were like a levee broke and a dam just burst in the forest, just flooded.
Monsoon.
And you wake up and you really palpably feel yourself kind of underwater, and then you finally come up for air and you can feel these droplets of water kind of rolling down your forehead, and there's Time's loving face welcoming you.
And I kind of smile and I reach up and I grab her braid and I say, Did you see them? Did you meet them?
And that's where we'll take a break.
Okay.
All right.
So
Boy, you just taught yourself to listen. Look at you.
pushed on both sides, tired.
So just and right before you take a break,
Yeah.
This was your one language that we discussed.
Oh yeah.
Do you get where I'm coming from? Okay, cool. So statistically, that's what this was.
And
That's why
then-
you were able to do that.
And then was it that they need the spiral
Spiral to become a disc.
to become a
I
disc?
wasn't even there, man.
If the spiral, hang on, I wrote it down. If the spiral was a disc,
we're
it
gonna take
would
a
leave
quick
us
break.
room to be who we are.
If the spiral was a disc, but then they were saying stuff about needing the spiral.
Hold on a second. We'll be back in a second. More spirals and discs when we return.